So let's go ahead and get started. The supplies you're going to need for today's project are some printed out sublimation designs. You're going to need some clear acrylic blank. These are 3 inches, and you're just going to remove the back side. So you're just going to take your little tool. Some of them will already have it on both sides. You're just going to simply peel that off. So once again, these are 3-inch clear acrylic blanks. You're going to need some paint. This is optional because you can definitely just leave them transparent. You're going to need some keychain hardware, some water, a paintbrush. You're going to need some heat-resistant gloves and parchment paper, as well as a tool to apply your hardware. Now, when it comes to these blanks, you can actually already purchase these for sublimation. They make blanks that are acrylic, and they have like a white backside that helps make them pop. So this is one that I've already done, and I painted the backside with a gray and then added some Mod Podge. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to take these over to the press so we can make some. So now that we are over here at the press, what I'd like to do is put down a piece of parchment paper, butcher paper. You could use cardstock, and then I'm going to put the clear acrylic blank over the design and flip it over. So you want these flipped over. And then I'm going to do the same thing over and over again. Now, the really cool thing about these designs is you can personalize them. So inside of your software, you can just write out the names and stuff like that, and definitely personalize these. So I'm just going to continue forward. I'm going to do about 4 of these at a time, just lining them up and flipping them over. I'm not even going to worry about tape for these. And then I've got my water dish on the side ready to go. And then I'm going to cover it with another piece of parchment paper. Now, I'm pressing this 385 for 60 seconds. So I'm going to go ahead and speed this up really quick. And in the meantime, I'm going to get on my heat resistant gloves. Definitely make sure you don't skip this step because they will be hot. Also be careful because they are acrylic, they can bend. So you want to cool these down pretty quickly. So I'm just showing you really quick. We're going to drop them down in the water. So I've already got my water bin. You don't need ice cold or anything like that. You don't want any fractures or cracks. I'm just showing you how nice and vibrant these are. Now, if you just leave them without the backs, they're just going to be transparent, which is totally fine, or you can paint them, which we'll do in a minute. So I'm just making sure they're fully submerged into the water, and then I've got a little brush here. You could use a toothbrush, whatever you want to, nothing too abrasive, and you can also just do it by hand. This stuff is not hard to take off. You definitely just need to soak it, get the paper wet enough, and it just peels right off. It's just stuck on there from that. So it's not going to pull off any of your designs, so don't worry about that you're going to accidentally pull any of that off. It's already in the acrylic. You're just taking off the paper. So this is what it looks like. Super cute. Now, the one thing to keep in mind, I did these a couple ways. You don't mirror them and it'll end up on the back side. If you do mirror them, they would be on the front side, if that makes sense. So I do recommend don't mirror, turn your mirror off, and that way they end up on the back side of your acrylics. So now what we're going to do is add either some paints or glitters. You can leave them transparent, like I said. So for a few of these, we're going to add some paint, and you're simply just going to get some on there, take your paintbrush, and go all over this. Now, the cool thing is you can definitely just do some paint strokes. So you can just go across the back a few times with your paintbrush, or you can even apply some adhesive vinyl if you wanted to. So there's the paint. We're going to let it dry. And then for this one here, we're going to do glitter. So I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive. So I'm going to go ahead and get that on there. And then at that point, we'll be able to add on our glitter. So the thing about this as well, which you'll see here towards the end, we are going to also do a final layer of this. And what I'm using here is dishwasher safe Mod Podge. That way it can get wet in case your keys are outside and get wet or anything like that. So as you can see here, we're just going to get some glitter right on top of that, shake off the excess, and then you can see how cute that is with the glitter. It just makes them pop just a little bit different. I'm just showing you a few different techniques here. There is a ton of them, and trust me, we're definitely going to have to do another video on this. This just adds to the whole acrylic keychain saga we've got going on here. So I'm just go ahead and adding on another coat of the paint here. So I'm doing a real light blush pink on this one. I love the brush strokes. If that's something you don't like, you could definitely use like a foam brush or something like that. See, and with that that paintbrush look of the design on that one, it just kind of makes it pop. It almost looks iridescent, and it's not. Now on this one, just to show you how much more it would pop if you had a white background, I went ahead and did white acrylic paint just to show you how much more it would pop with a background that's white. So you can see that there. I just love the way these came out. I'm so excited. And you don't have to worry about compared to adhesive vinyl. They're never going to come off. And once again, you don't have to paint the back. So now I'm just going over a final coat with the Mod Podge. You don't have to do more than one layer with the paint. Just one is good enough. Same with the glitter. You can do as many layers if you want. This one's kind of almost a little bit transparent because I did one layer. If you don't like that little bit of a transparent look, you can definitely add more layers. So just add more of the Mod Podge, more glitter, and then add that final coat at the end, and that would make it thicker and more of a glitter background, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna go ahead and add one on here. Now on this one, I had a little bit of that blue glitter left from the other one, and it just added to the texture and design of this one. Because when I'm done with that one that we just did, I'm adding some here, but on the other one, I actually took like a sandpaper and I roughed it up a little bit to give it more of a grungy look, just to kind of play around with it. So that's something you can do as well. So now we're just going to take our tassels here, and this is optional. You definitely don't have to do this, but it just spruces them up. I added a color that would make them pop, and this is what they look like. So they came out super cute. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please hit the like button down below and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.